I've got a little dog. He's adorable. He's a rescue dog. He's very sweet. He doesn't get on with other dogs, so that's the one problem we have with him. We will bark at all other dogs. But I just use the fact that he's a rescue if that comes up. So say I'm out walking him and he barks at another dog, the other owner will look at me like, control your dog. And I'll just turn to her and I'll say, I'm really sorry, but he's a rescue. And then she'll turn to me and she'll say, I'm so sorry for what he's been through. When the truth is, his owner died and we got him. That's what he's been through. You can't do that with blokes, can you? If a bloke's fighting in a pub, you can't go, I'm really sorry, but he's a rescue. Just found him wandering around Debenhams on his own. And we've checked and he's not married because he hasn't been chipped. The dog hurt his paw a few months ago, hurt his paw, so rang the vet and it was out of hours. So I got straight through to the vet herself. She said, what's the problem? I said, the dog's hurt his paw. She said, which paw? And I said, it's his left hand. She said, his what? I said, his left hand. She said, you mean his foreleg? I said, I don't know, I didn't go to university like you did, Flower. To me, it's his left hand. I know what you're thinking. You think I humanise the dog. I know that's what you think. And fuck off, I don't. I don't humanise him. Fuck off, I don't. So I took his little waistcoat off and I took him to the vet. Got him all bandaged up. Brought him home. My husband was away at the time and I thought I should probably ring him, let him know what's going on. So I did. He said, what's the matter? I said, the dog's hurt his paw. My husband said, which paw? And I thought, what's the fucking fascination with which paw? It's not like it's the one he writes with. I said it was his left hand. My husband said, his what? I said, his left hand. He said, you mean front passenger side? We do a lot of driving, obviously, when we're on tour, and I've discovered recently that I get a touch of road rage. Anybody else get road rage? Yeah? I do the shouting and the swearing, but my favourite thing is the hand gestures. I love the hand gestures. I do all three of them. I don't know if you know there's three. I start with that one. It's classic, isn't it? And then I do that one. And they can't always see that from the other car, so you do have to tilt your pelvis up quite high. And mime a cock bigger than one that ever existed. And the third one I do is this one. And that's when I realise that's not one of them, is it? I'm so annoyed by your drive and I'm going to suck your cock for you. Well, that's what I hate about school. What I love about school is that when you leave, all of that disappears. You can do anything you like. You can be anyone you like. You don't even have to be friends with any of those fuckers ever again if you don't want to be. And who knows? Someday you might be able to peel a satsuma while you're driving a car. Or do a horn noise with your mouth. Or talk about your bully on stage and then send her the fucking DVD. Have an area of medical expertise, you know, so maybe you've all got bad backs, so you know the tablets to take, the exercises to do, that sort of thing. With my family, it's arseholes. They're lovely people, but wow, they're good with the bowel. And the day that I realised I had piles, I rang my dad, because he's my arsehole phone a friend. And I told him what was going on, and he said, right. And I thought, this is what dads do, isn't it? That's what they say before they fix things. Right. And he went, what you need? Baths as hot as you can stand them, anus-all cream on the rest of the time. I said, thank you, and I hung up. I rang him back like 20 minutes later. I said, I'm having some trouble. He said, what kind of trouble are you having? I said, I can't really see what I'm doing. He said, I don't know what you mean. I said, well, I'm not supple enough to do it that way, and I've got too much here to be able to get access through there. And he went, right, and I thought, again, he's going to fix it. And he said, what you need is one of those mirrors that the police use for looking for bombs under cars. I had piles. I was meeting a friend for lunch, and I'm so rubbish at keeping secrets that she'd barely said hello, and I just blurted it out. I've got piles. And her response is the best response you can ever hope for if that happens to you in the future. Because I went, I've got piles, and she went, so have I. And we high-tend went to the pub. I said before that I've been with my fella for 10 years. We agree on a lot of things. We disagree on some things. I think that's fine. I think that's healthy in a relationship. One of the things we disagreed on quite recently is my new theory. I have a new theory. And my theory is that I think that men retain different information to women. Then the information that men retain is what I would call useless. And the information that women retain is much more useful. Now, I've devised a short quiz that I put to my husband, and I'm going to talk you through it now. There are 2 rounds in the quiz, the useless round followed by the useful round. There are 3 questions in each. If you happen to know any of the answers, please shout them out. We'll have a bit of fun. So, useless round, question number 1. Who was the manager of Aston Villa in 2005? Does anybody know?
David O'Leary.
Well done, fucking hell. Well done, and thus proving my point fucking perfectly, Flower. My husband also got that correct. 1 to the audience, 1 to the husband. Question number 2. How far did the Dow Jones fall on the 19th of October, 1987? Anybody have a clue? There's a little... Oh, there's kind of chuntering. Did you hear that? Anybody want to guess? 1,000. 1,000 what? Oh, bless you for knowing. It's not 1,000 points, but bless you for knowing that it's points. It's 508 points. But I'm going to give you half a point for knowing that it's points, because the other day somebody shouted out something in feet and inches, like it actually... Half a point. My husband got it exactly right, which is terrifying. And the third and final question in the useless round, name the female doctor in Star Trek Next Generation Series 1. Anybody know? Crusher. Dr. Beverly Crusher, well done. So many of you knew that. So 2.5 to the audience and 3 to the husband. Now we move on to the useful round. The first question in the useful round, which one is the tumble dryer? My husband said it's the white one. I said they're all fucking white. Question number 2, how do you know when it's time to throw your underpants away? What was that? When the dog leaves them alone. My husband said it was a trick question because you never throw underpants away. The correct answer is when the elasticity is such that it looks like you're wearing a gym skirt. And the third and final question in the useful round, and indeed the entire quiz, how much praise should you get for unblocking a toilet that you yourself blocked? Fucking none. I don't think I'm a nag. Give us a cheer if you think you get nagged. I had a young couple in the front row a few weeks ago, and the fella said he got nagged by his wife who was sitting beside me. I said, what does she nag you for? He said, she nags me because I don't tidy up after myself. I said, you just not like tidying? He said, no. I said, can I tell you something? He said, what? I said, neither does she. And he went like this, he went, oh. Saved a marriage, you're welcome. I don't think I'm a nag, but maybe you guys can tell me otherwise. So, my husband isn't really interested in clothes, neither am I, especially that's not a big deal at all. But when he puts his jacket on, the collar's always turned in over. And I always have to go, love, flick your collar out. Your collar, and your jacket. Just flick it out. It's tucked in, Your collar, it's tucked in. It's tucked in on your jacket, just flick it out. Just do what I'm doing, just do that. It's just tucked underneath, just flick it out. Your collar, on your jacket, just on your jacket. No, not your shirt, your shirt's fine. Well, it's not now, you fucked it. Your jacket, it looks ridiculous. I just want you to look like somebody loves you, for fuck's sake, flick your fucking collar out. I can hear how horrible that sounds. So I've got a better approach. I think this is much more positive. This is what I do now. I go, love, and he goes, what? I go, do your impression of Fonzie, and he flicks it out and goes, hey.
Thanks for watching. You know what would be great is if you liked and subscribed. I'm so needy, I'm so sorry. And why not come and see me live? And the tickets are available at sarahmillican.co.uk. Put the kettle on and settle in.